Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm trying to figure this thing out, man. This thing. Oh, we back in the middle. Yo, what's happening? You know what it is. You know who we are. You know what we do. And as my esteemed buddy over here always says,
It must be Tuesday.
that it is. Welcome to Down in Sports. Down in Sports Talk in the building. I am left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now. And two in the building, as you can see, most definitely, Yada Bears in the house, repping
What's up?
Philly to the fullest, repping the Phillies to the fullest. They got a little time to relax and stretch their bones. Salute to Nick Castellanos, 162 games played.
Yeah.
Can't see nothing of that. Can't knock that at all. Um, let the people know what's going on with you real quick, and then we're gonna get into the show because we got a lot to talk about. Broski's in the
Yeah.
house, yo.
Not for much, chilling. Right now, got the WNBA playoff game on, game two, Vegas and New York, second quarter. Um, Vegas got to win this second game, to still really have a real dog in the fight. You can't go down 2-0, especially in the best of five series against the Liberty. Watch a couple early baseball games earlier. Wild cards started. Um, Phillies got, first round bye, so it's good to be able to sit back and watch the other guys, fight it out. And we was talking behind the scenes, crazy situation yesterday in baseball, with three teams, two spots in the NL, and it all came down to one double hitter series of who was going to make the postseason, which was super wild. But it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. It was wild. We're gonna get into all of that. But first, again, man, we usually set the show off, on a good tone, funny, know what I mean? But we're gonna do it on a somber note tonight, but we're gonna still kick it because this is Down in Sports, so this is what we do. We're gonna start off with everybody's favorite pop, man. Word is bond, man.
Right?
John Amos passed away. But let me say this first before we get started, right? So what? He passed away in August. Why are people upset because they didn't find out till today or yesterday or whatever? I don't understand people, man. You know what I'm saying? That this real quick. I'm not going to dwell on it, but I'm just saying, man, it kind of bugs me out. Like people like, well, how come they didn't let us know? What do they owe you? They don't owe you nothing, right? But
Facts.
anyway, I just wanted to say that John Amos, man, great actor, man. Roots, you know what I mean? The original joint, of course, James Evans Sr., many other roles, man. Newark, New Jersey in the building, so salute. Again, man, much respected dude, man. Absolutely. If he was, you had a pop like him, he was lucky. You know what I mean? And he definitely represented for a positive black man, you know what I mean, on television. Anything you want to say about John Amos? Because we got a whole thing to get into tonight.
Yeah, now, like you said, I don't feel like it was anybody business of knowing when he passed away. You should be honored to even know that information. It's
Mm.
it's none of your business of when and how. That's always the first question. Well, how and when? Like, it's none of your business. Just know that this person has moved on. You know, but definitely, rest in peace, John Amos. Um, like I said, Good Times, Roots, uh, Coming to America, McDowell's, all,
Right, 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 right.
so
T.O.
it seems like
McDowell, right, right.
anything
That
he,
was already right,
yeah,
right.
like anything he touches, he put his all in, and it was quality work. So definitely rest in peace to John Amos.
All right, no doubt. Salute John Amos. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo. And this one kind of like, got to me because he was born the year I was born, right? 1966. So he passed away at 58 years old. Great ambassador to the game. My memory of Dikembe Mutombo was when he was with the Denver Nuggets. And they was the first team to ever be a number 8 seed and knock off a number 1. And at the end of that final game, he was laying on the floor. with the bat hugging the basketball, and this he was just in enjoy. And I ain't mad at him. You know what I mean? Peyton, Sean Kemp knocked him off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But always remembered as a good guy, man. You know, he had his classic, finger wag, and he did his thing. I know Browski's gonna have something to say about that because he was on that championship team, that Eastern Conference championship team that went to the finals against LA Lakers. But I just wanted to add on, he played on a number of teams, but still know he was an ambassador to the league and he was a worthy player. All right. Don't sleep on Mutombo, Mutombo, they didn't call him Mount Mutombo for nothing. I mean, he definitely had a presence, and he'll be sorely missed off the court. I mean, you think he had, and invested in buying hospitals back in his native country and stuff like that. So, again, his legacy is going to definitely live on. So, we salute to Kemi Mutombo. So, I know you got some memories and some thoughts that you want to say.
Man. Yes, like definitely number one, rest in peace to Kembe Mutombo. He definitely laid the groundwork to have other African-born players play in the NBA. Without Mutombo, we wouldn't have a Joel Embiid. We wouldn't have guys like Pascal Siakam, playing in the NBA. Um, you know, Basketball in Africa was unheard of until this guy who really like put it on the map. Yeah, he played for the Sixers. He was on that team that went to the finals. It was at the end of his career, but he brought in that leadership, that defensive presence, in the paint. One of my fondest memories of the Kembe Mutombo, it wasn't even him doing anything. It was when Jordan was on a 3-throw line and he closed his eyes and he put up and he made the 3-throw and he says, "This one's for you, Mutombo," and he shot it with his eyes closed. Like that right there was like one of the funniest things I've seen with him. He always was smiling. He always seemed very happy, very cheerful, and like I said, he did a lot of things off the court in his native land. And he was a big, ambassador for like the NBA African League, things like that. So he's truly going to be missed. 56, very young. They say he had brain cancer. He fought it silently. He didn't make a big deal about it. Didn't bring it out in the public. As he was suffering, he was still doing things for others. So, definitely rest in peace and condolences to his family.
Absolutely. We ain't finished yet before we get into a flow. I want to say, not real quick, but definitely want to put some respect on Ozzie Virgil's name. He's a player like a little bit before my time, but still acknowledged as the first Dominican-born Major League Baseball player. Definitely, we can talk about ambassadors for the game. I'm more familiar with Ozzie Virgil Jr., but I think that his father left. Again, as you can see with Ozzie Virgil Jr., left Ozzie Virgil Sr. left a legacy and always will be connected to baseball. That's when we give him a shout and put some respect on his name too. Rest in peace, Ozzie Virgil. All right, we got one more before we get into our flow. All right. Rest in peace, Pete Rose. I'm gonna let Browski begin. Because
man, this guy, hit the hit machine. This guy, I never see a pitch that he couldn't hit. The fact that we lost a legend, that when you hear the name Pete Rose, you hear all the negative things first. He bet on baseball, bet on his team, cheater, things like that. But you never really hear, that he's the all-time hit leader, Major League Baseball, champion. He was great here with the Phillies. He was even better in Cincinnati. It's like, Pete Rose, he even played in Montreal, right?
Yep.
He played for the Expos for a moment. But like his biggest accomplishments with the Reds and the Phillies, definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. No questions about it. And it's a shame that he probably will get in the Hall of Fame now that he's passed on, and he is not going to be here to, get that honor and see himself, up in Cooperstown. And I just think it's crazy that most likely he's going to get in now. Go ahead, Left.
Yo, listen, Pete Rose, man, like, where do I begin? Like, first thing I say is, respect, right? He was a part of the Big Red Machine that swept my Yankees when I was 10 years old. Pete Rose was an enigma, yo. When he was with the Cincinnati Reds, and he, Big Red Machine. When you're part of a great team, you're individual, you do your individual thing. But when you're part of a great team, you know a great team. You know how you know a great team? When you can name their starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know a great team, right? And Pete Rose was, Charlie Hustle, the hit thing notwithstanding. I'm gonna go on for a second about this. He took Ray Fosse out the game. Now, I don't know if you ever seen the famous collision of Pete Rose and Ray Fosse at home plate in the 72 All-Star game. Ray Fosse was a very good ball player. I remember Ray Fosse. After that, Ray Fosse was never the same, right? And Pete Rose did things that diving headfirst in the third base. I remember he had to fight with Bud Harrelson when the Reds played the Mets at second base. He slid into second base trying to make up a double play, and then Bud Harrelson got into a fight. Pete Rose was that dude. Even when he was with the Phillies, the famous situation when he was in the World Series with the Royals.
Yeah.
The ball popped out of Bob Boone's glove, and Pete Rose was right there. He's that type of dude, fundamentally sound, great player. I bear witness when he had the 58-game hitting streak. All right, like he was on it. Like, was he going to catch this dude? It wasn't 58, it was 48, and he was doing his thing. And again, you had to put respect on Pete Rose's name. Now, the gambling thing, notwithstanding. Now, here's the thing. We've been talking about this for 25 plus years since Pete Rose been out of baseball. We knew they was going to do Pete Rose dirty. I'm not going to get into the thing with, Bart Giamatti, he passed away, and, Peter Uberoff and all of that. No, we're not going to get into that. What we're going to talk about right now is how Pete Rose had baseball in the proverbial clutches, I'll say, right? The all-time hits leader, World Series champion, blah, 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 and the list goes on. 17-time All-Star, all that. Now, in the rule book, it says you're not supposed to gamble. I get it. But if we're going to get technical, like we tend to do in this technical age, right? Why do you have Shoeless Joe Jackson in the Hall of Fame? I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And we knew back in those days, 25 plus years ago, that they was going to do Pete Rose like this. The only way Pete Rose was going to get in the Hall of Fame was after he passed. That's it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to give, or baseball didn't want to give Pete Rose the pleasure of saying, see, I told you so. You ask any real baseball fan, besides the ones that's going to try to beat you in the head when he gambled on baseball, well, you are alcoholic. Or you got whatever going on with you.
Yeah.
Whatever you got going on with you, you didn't get 4,256 hits. Pete Rose got 4,256 hits. So my thing is, if you're going to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame now, you're going to try to save face. He was a great ball player. Whoop-de-whoop. Somebody said that a person who knows much more baseball than me, and I respect their opinion very much, I value it. He was like, put him in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely. Put a addendum at the bottom of his plaque. Like, oh, he bet on baseball. He was supposed to be banned for life, right? His life's over. I'm just saying. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. It's a bunch of people in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be in there if we're gonna get technical.
That's 100% true.
You know what I'm saying? So again, at the end of the day, we knew that this was going to happen. We knew this day was going to come. Once Pete Rose passed away, it takes the pressure off of Major League Baseball to have to hear from Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Yeah. Let's keep it all the way green. We knew that was going to happen. We said this a long time ago. The only way Pete Rose was going to get into the Hall of Fame was after he's gone. Because Major League Baseball didn't want to deal with, well, Pete Rose, you're in the Hall of Fame. What do you think about that? Or when they got to make that call. You know how to make that call?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That type of thing. So, again, at the end of the day, now they don't have that to deal with. Now they can kind of like do the quote-unquote Browski. Windwalker's in the house, y'all. The quote-unquote right thing. Put Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame. We don't have to talk about it no more. It'll be the right thing to do. That's all my thing. What's your thoughts about Pete Rose passing away before we get into the show? Windwalker's in the house.
When you muted.
Watching karate movies. We can't hear you, Playboy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now. Let's go. Let's get it.
He was a real good attribute to baseball. He brought that flair and that fire, that spunk. You know what I'm saying? He was the rowdy one, you know. He was the daredevil when it wasn't no daredevils. Trying to win the game. You know what I'm saying? And he could bat. You know what I'm saying? He was a good dude. He was a good dude. That was that Pete Rose, Johnny Bench era. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Pete Rose. Like I said, you had Perez at first, Joe Morgan, Dave Concepcion, Pete Rose. You had you had Griffey, you had Geronimo, and you had George Foster, and Johnny Bench was the catcher.
And Johnny Bench was a catcher.
Now, to me, when you can name the other teams, that's a great team. Like you said, Pete Rose, you know, he did his thing, man, and it's only right, man. It's only right, and I think that would be like one of the, you know, besides, you know, the Negro Leagues statistics being included is something that should have also happened in baseball is Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame. And now that he's gone, you know, probably, I hate to say it like this, but this is as real as I can put it. Your problem is solved. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. And watch Pete Rose get in the Hall of Fame. Watch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again,
he deserves it.
You're right.
He deserves it.
It's only right. We're in the building, man. We got Windwalker in the house. We doing what we do on Tuesday nights. Listen, we jumping right into it. NFL Week 4 chop up. You know what's coming, Browski. You know what's coming.
Go ahead and get it off. You know, you beat the squad.
Buck Nation once again. You know what I mean? The Philadelphia Eagles fan base came down to Tampa. All right. Now their thing is that they was helping out with the situation, and you know, respect to the Philadelphia Eagles fans, because they definitely got mopped. No pun intended. Look at Browski's face. Buck Nation.
Wow.
I understand the fact that AJ Brown and I think Devontae was out too.
AJ, Devontae, Lane Johnson. Okay, like, go ahead. Enjoy. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Excuses.
As I was saying before, I was so politely interrupted by my co-D. We just did what we did, man. I think I expected a better game out of the Eagles. Now, I sat there and watched that whole game, and I thought that, you know, everything that Browski says and I hear from Eagles fans was like happening right in front of my face.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, I'm like, this is not the Eagles team that, you know, I'm used to seeing. Like, it seems like it's a continuation of last year from when y'all was 10-0.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know what y'all record is, but it can't be good. You know what I mean? The last maybe 9-10 games. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm not jumping out the window. We at the quarter pole of the season. I did want to chop it up with you, and Windwalker was out of focus right now. But it's all good. You know, we at the quarter pole. The biggest surprise to me right now, I'm not worried about the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold is great. He's doing what he do. But talk to me about Sam Darnold in week 11, week 12, all right? The Washington Commanders, like Jalen Daniels is almost to the point where he's taking a how should we say a number 2 on all his doubters. He's making Bryce Young look really, 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 really bad. And the reason why I say that, yo, is because at the end of the day, nobody saw this coming from Jaden Daniels. The Washington Commanders are so good right now. People are clamoring for them to change their team, the name back to the Redskins. Word is bond. They doing so good. They want them to change their name back to the Redskins. Like, and I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Jaden Daniels is Heisman Trophy winner. He's the next level. And again, to me, it's like he's playing the game like nobody saw him coming. You know what I mean? Because he's doing. Listen, how many consecutive drives they had? How many times the last 2 games they have no punts?
Yeah.
They have no turnovers. Like, that's crazy. And to me, you got to give them all the credit in the world because they're not in here playing. They steamrolling these cats, yo. And Jaden Daniels is making it look real simple. You know what I mean?
I definitely give mad respect to Jaden Daniels. He's definitely doing his thing. Having Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator, he built the offense around his skill set, and you can see how comfortable Jaden is on the team. How comfortable he's in the pocket. Things are not extremely complicated. What he's doing, make your reads, decision making, throw an accurate pass, and know when to run and know when to slide. He's not out here taking big hits.
Anthony Richardson, right?
Who's out once again. He's not out here looking scared and looking confused, i.e., Caleb Williams, Bryce Young. So he's out here, very calm, composed and positive. Like I said, Cliff Kingsbury and him connection really good. Like I said, he's not making things too complicated.
Right.
I expect that from Cliff. If you remember how Kyler Murray looked when he first came into the league, how he was thought that Kyler's going to just the next Russell Wilson. He's just going to bring championship after championship to Arizona. But those first 2 years, he did. He looked very comfortable. Cliff made it very easy for him to be successful out there, and they're doing the same thing in Washington. The offensive line is holding up for him. Passing game, Terry McLaurin out there doing the same. Brian Robinson, earlier Austin Eckler, but we all know Austin Eckler gets hurt, and it's good to have your number 2 guy being Brian Robinson to step right back in and continue to do his thing. So Washington, they're looking really good right now. It's still
are they as we are the quarter pole right now down in sports. We are doing our thing Tuesday night. Washington Commanders, are they the class of the NFC East?
Well, right now, I can't deny the record. They're 3-1, so record-wise, yeah, they are. But we'll see how it goes when they play, us and the Cowboys. Because those 2 teams, those games are always extra tough. We already seen them manhandle the Giants. Everybody's manhandling the Giants, But we'll see. Like I said, it's still early on, but right now they're top of the division. We gotta show them respect. The kid out here doing this thing. So I can't throw no dirt on his name. He doing it.
Let's flip over to the AFC right quick.
Well. AFC.
Yeah.
Well, Well,
Yeah.
Browski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still 4 games in.
Yeah.
Thinking dunk.
Y'all might not win a game. When we rewind that, y'all might not win a game.
I didn't say y'all ain't gonna win the game. I said y'all ain't gonna make it to the playoffs. It's only 4 games in.
Okay.
We already
The
see
head of the head of the AFC North, huh?
Well, AFC North looking real suspect.
Yeah. And it was the best league. It was the best
It was supposed to be
little,
the best division
division.
of the league,
yeah.
but right now it's
They
looking
fell
regular.
off,
Looking
Hey,
real
but you
regular.
know what? My Christmas is next Sunday.
Nah, they play the Cowboys,
They
right?
play the Cowboys. Yeah,
Oh boy.
we'll see what happens after
boy.
that.
We're gonna get back to the NFL. I want to get into something because again, I watched this game Saturday, and yo,
Oh my God, yes.
The 17-year-old? Are we talking about him?
not even that. Hold up, before we get to that, before we get to that, the start of the game when Alabama was beating the brakes off of Georgia, and like we said it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that Alabama and Georgia is kind of one-sided. Whether you go, what we say, Browski, SEC, football playoff, national championship, however you want to slice it, Alabama, Nick Saban was always doing work to the Georgia team. And you kind of wanted to see what was going to happen post Nick Saban, even though Nick Saban was in the building, they was playing on his namesake field and all that nonsense. But Jalen Milroe, yo, Shador Sanders, you got some work to do, B. This dude, but now let's get into the game. Georgia ain't no punks.
Yeah.
Georgia came back.
And
it was like back to back. If you went away to go get something to eat or go get some chicken,
you missed a touchdown.
It was like a Tyson fight. You missed something.
Yeah, you missed.
It was back to back to back.
It was back to back to back to back. The announcers was having conniptions. But it was very entertaining, and I think to me, it was one of the best Alabama Georgia games in recent memory to me because of how exciting it was. And Georgia came back with nobody gave them like it was turning the chance.
It was PlayStation 5 NCAAF. It was PlayStation 5 all over again.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was a very, very, very a good game. Again, Alabama proved their worth. Jalen Milroe proved their worth. Proved his worth. Can we talk about my Miami Hurricanes?
Man.
Yeah, man. We did what we had to do. Again, it should have been easier, but it wasn't. But I understand that we're not going to make things easy. It's not supposed to be easy. But it's about to get real hectic. October, November is coming up.
Oh, man.
So now it's time to really kind of get your thing together. All right.
Yeah.
You won a game that you really shouldn't have won. A couple of them games that you could have lost. Really. I'm the hardest critic of my Miami Hurricanes, man. People like to think that we're back and all of that. We're not back yet until we, win the national championship.
They passing the chain around though. Hey.
I don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the focus. The focus is trying to get some respectability and get back to this thing and get your name right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the turnover chain in the first place.
I don't like stuff like that either.
You know what I mean? I think that if you're gonna do that, and then when they do it to you, don't get mad. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing right now, Browski? We're gonna talk about the WNBA playoffs, and then we're gonna drift back into football, right?
Yeah, right now we got the Liberty Aces playing. Liberty up 1-0. They actually leading, right? They was leading into halftime. It was 46-40. Started the third quarter starting. And New York is right now, they manhandling the Aces right now. We said earlier this season, though, it's really hard to three-peat, and this season has shown that the Aces are human and they can
Yeah.
be beat. And right now, they're so used to being a front runner. Now they got to catch up. A lot of these teams has gotten a lot better because of how good the Aces was. Like they was miles ahead of other teams these past couple seasons, and now the Liberty caught up with them, when they brought in Jonquel Jones and Brianna Stewart to pair along Sabrina Ionescu and also Courtney Vandersloot. And now this is a second year with that core. They have now become our powerhouse. They have learned each other, learned each other's spots. And Jonquel Jones, truthfully, has been killing the Aces.
Hmm.
Each game this season, she's been like the Aces killer. You would think it would be like Brianna Stewart or Sabrina, but it's really been Jonquel Jones, and she's proven it once again in this playoff series because they can't do anything with her. She's a beast on the board. She's a beast on the outside. She can hit those corner threes. She can hit the wing threes. So it's crazy, and it's Asia Wilson can't do it all by herself. Kelsey Plum has been in foul trouble. She's been inconsistent. Jackie Young been a little inconsistent. They got Tiffany Hayes out there. She tried to give them a little spark plug, but this is not the same Aces team that we have seen in the past. So they got a lot of work. They got to dig deep to try and make this a long series because right now, in the blink of the eye, the Liberty can be up 2-0. And it's hard coming back 2-0, in best 5.
Yeah. I think when you talk about, you said a lot, you know what I mean? That was definitely on point. But I connected with what you said about it's hard to three-peat, you know what I mean? And they're not the same team. I think the off the court stuff that they had to deal with,
Yeah.
kind of like affected their whole situation. Understanding that, like you said, the teams have gotten better. Nobody's laying down for the Aces anymore. They have to work hard. And again, at the end of the day, the championship reign, they're gonna have to take it from them. And again, like you said, it's a 5-game series. And again, as far as the Liberty concerned, I think that it's theirs to lose. I think that the Liberty are in the Vegas Aces head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that again, they don't want to go home down 2-0, but they know that that's we'll see what champions, material and championship teams are made of. It's when you can go back home down 2-0 in the best of 5 and try to get it back to New York. You know what I mean? For game 5, and we'll see what it is. But if that doesn't happen, then the New York Liberty will be in a final, and we'll see what it is. Connecticut and Minnesota played. Connecticut, I think, beat Minnesota, so they got a 1-0 lead in their series, and I think that comes up next after this Liberty Aces game. So again, when we talk about the WNBA playoffs, again, a lot of people were expecting the Las Vegas Aces to have a kind of a smooth run to a three-peat.
Right.
Based off the last 2, But we talk about, and when I want to get your opinion on it real quick because we're going to go into baseball, and then we're going to get back into football before we get out of here. What's your thoughts in regards to WNBA real quick, man?
Like my homegirl said, it's hard to do a three-peat, and all your cogs and all your wheels got to be turning the same way. And seem like they're not in sync as they been in past years, and some of that deals with you get complacent. Yeah,
somebody been in the thesaurus.
We've been here before. We'll just do the same thing we did. No, these teams have changed this last year. You know what I'm saying? It's different vibes with different teams. You know what I'm saying? So now you're on the chopping block. You gotta bring it. You gotta bring it every night just to get there. You know what I'm saying? You can't rely on what you relied on because they got just as much firepower. They got a strong big in the middle, New York Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
They got just as much, as you got.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it it was like the teeter totter was leaning more towards the Aces in the past few years, but now it's an even playing field. Now it's up to coaching and resting players and getting the most out of each player, and playing team ball. You can't take on the whole squad because they got just as many, rebounders, just as many go getters as you got. So that's my comment.
All right, that's what's up. Windwalker's in the building. Make sure you check Windwalker out at your local store opening. We will be there.
Right.
Yes, that's right. We back in the building, man, as we are every Tuesday night, man, doing what we do. We got YADABEAR in the house. Somebody had a surprise birthday party and all of
Right,
that.
crazy.
In
Hey,
the building, son. You
Right.
know what I mean?
25 once again. Yada bear.
Listen, we can't talk about the Yankees or the Phillies, right? Because they chilling right now watching, the games like
Yeah,
us.
they chilling.
Today was a great start to the hunt for October, man. Major
Was.
League Baseball playoffs, great start, man. I picked the Detroit Tigers to beat the Houston Astros. I picked the
Okay.
Kansas City Royals to beat the Baltimore Orioles. The
Okay.
Tigers won today, and I don't want to call everything a classic, but that game had me like, yo, what is getting ready to happen? The Houston
Yeah.
Astros come back and win this game in the bottom of the ninth, and the series would have been over. If
Right.
if the Astros would have came back and won, they had run in the second and third, the
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the ninth. Yeah, it was
Oh,
3-1, right? That
Tatis
series would
just
have
hit
been
a
over.
two-run home run first inning.
Uh-oh. What's that? The
Hit
Padres and the Braves?
Mm-hmm. He just hit a two-run home run.
Um,
First pitch.
the Royals and the Orioles. Again, and Yada Bear, we talk behind the scenes about the Orioles. And my thing about the Baltimore Orioles is this: they had a pretty respectable, decent season last year,
Yeah.
and they got swept in the playoffs by the eventual world champion Texas Rangers. Um, this season, it was on the Yankees' heels, yo. To lose a
The whole
game at
season.
home, game one against the upstart Kansas City Royals team says a lot. Without that firepower that you have in your lineup, the Santanders, the Oddly Rushmans, who's the other
Mm-hmm.
guy? Gunnar Henderson, you know what I mean? All those guys that you have, the Cedric Mullins of the world, all those guys, you couldn't produce 2 runs.
Yeah.
And not to say don't sleep on the Royals in their pitching, because that's a big component of what got them to where they are. They're pitching, and we talked about Bobby Witt Jr. Again, this is his first, real, sniff at a playoff situation, and
Mm-hmm.
to be in a nail biter, a knuckle, a knuckle game, like that game was crazy. That's what the playoffs are about. Those type of games
Exactly.
like that. Now you got the Orioles and the Orioles and the Astros are on their heels, right? The
Yeah.
Orioles and
And
the Astros are on their heels. And
and,
and,
and
and again
that's
in the
crazy.
National League, the Mets, the Mets are going to do what the Mets do. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, the
they won
Mets. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Milwaukee, right? And did what they did. But we're going to see what this is. This 2 out of 3 thing is going to be crazy, and it puts pressure on you. All right, because you have to
Yeah.
play all 3 games. You have to play all 3 games.
It's like
And
it's your last game. Like
yeah,
you gotta
every three
have your
games.
aces out there. You gotta have all your guys out there. But you know what's crazy though about this
Mhm.
postseason? That the two teams that played in the World Series not even in the postseason.
I mean,
They're not
That
even
says
there.
a lot about
you
that
like
World
that,
Series
yeah.
last year. Why it was so trash.
Mm-hmm.
Those two teams is nowhere to be found.
Right.
Right.
That like you said that Royals game was that's what a postseason game is, a 1-0 game. It's a pitching duel. You just trying to make it happen. Any way possible, you trying to score that 1 run, and that 1 run was exactly all they needed. To today, and the Mets, they came out there and the Mets is hitting. You know, they've been hitting since that grimace thing.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
grimace.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
they have like embraced that, and they've just been on like this hitting, streak out of nowhere. It's crazy how they claw their way into the postseason. You know, before the All-Star break, we wasn't talking about the Mets making the postseason. You know,
I mean,
we was
you know
kind of
what?
like laughing at them. Truthfully, it was like, oh, the Mets go to Mets. But then slowly but surely, they kept putting games together, kept putting wins together, kept winning series, and that's when it's like, oh, wait a minute, they only 7
Mhm,
games behind the Phillies. It's like, whoa, when did this happen?
mhm.
And for them to get into the postseason the way that they did, from a double hitter, one win get you in, was wild. Two wins lead the Braves out. Well,
Yeah, I mean that scenario, like I said, we talked about it behind the scenes, yo.
hmm
I never seen it. I was watching baseball a long time. I remember '78. It was a 1-game playoff, Yankees and the Red Sox. Bucky did, you know that story. But this
yeah, it was
is
crazy.
different. And this is what you're gonna get when you have this wild card scenario, right? So you had 3 teams with 2 spots. You had the Braves, you had the Mets, and you had the Diamondbacks. Now,
Same
what
schedule,
was unique?
same record.
What's unique about this situation is that the Braves and the Mets were supposed to play a game that got rained out.
hmm
So what happened was to end the season, they had to play a doubleheader. Now, what's unique about this doubleheader, which concerns the Arizona Diamondbacks, and hit the like button if you're paying attention. If the Braves or the Mets swept the doubleheader, that means the Diamondbacks would be in the playoffs.
Right.
If the Braves and the Mets split the doubleheader, that means the Braves and the Mets would be in the playoffs and the Diamondbacks would be out. It's
That was
bananas.
crazy. I never seen anything like that
It,
ever
it,
in
it
my
was the
life.
rubber stamp game. That's what they
To
called it.
me, it was like that. What are we doing if we're the Diamondbacks? We're just hoping somebody wins 2 games in a row, right?
Yep.
If you're, like we talked about it behind the scenes, I said, well, if the Mets won the first game, they would be Mets fans for the second game.
Yeah.
And the Braves turned around and won, and then now they can go make those golf, those tee times on the golf course, or that flight to Acapulco is over for them. The season's over.
Over.
But it's just unique how that happened, where every team is still involved to the last day. And Arizona was in the World Series last year, and they was involved to the last day. We don't worry about the Texas Rangers because, to me, and send your emails to YADABEAR.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Rangers World Series was kind of like, this is what killed me. The Texas Rangers World Series last year was kind of like the Lakers winning in the bubble.
Oh, that's a low
I
blow.
agree because I feel
That's a
like
low
it
blow.
was a fluke World Series. I feel like last year, man, the Phillies gave
The first
away
year of the clock. The first year of the clock. Yeah.
the Phillies gave away that series against the Diamondback. For some reason, we couldn't hit 3 games in a row. We just couldn't hit anything, and then they make it and they lose 4-1
Mm.
to the Texas Rangers, and neither one of them can make the postseason this year. I mean, the Texas Rangers,
It's a lot.
they was out the postseason by what?
Memorial Day. It was
Yeah,
done.
like before. Yeah,
I want to say this. I want to say this before we get back into the football thing. I want to put some respect on Nick Castellanos' name, Philadelphia Phillies. Yep, I'm putting some respect on a Phillies player. Nick Castellanos played 162 games. Nick Castellanos played every game this season.
every game.
That doesn't happen a lot. I think if I was Nick Castellanos, I would go to the Sixers game and tell me about load management.
What's that?
You know what I'm saying?
Castellanos.
Again, it's rare. You don't see that, man. And again, you got to tip your hat because 162 games is not easy. You know what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
lot.
And to be out there every single day watching people go on the IL, come back, go back on the IL, come back on the IL again, and you're still playing like that. I had to put some respect on homie's name, So salute to Nick Castellanos from the Phillies. We're gonna let Win Walker expound a little bit on this game he got Sunday night with his beloved Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, before I do that, back to baseball. We said rest in peace to Pete Rose. I want to say rest in peace. I want to say
moving. We said that earlier in the show. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna do it at the end of the show. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah, okay. I want to rest in peace somebody else.
Who do you want to rest in peace? Who you want to rest in peace?
The Oakland Stadium.
Oh.
All right.
Rest in peace. Go ahead. That's all. That's all I wanted to do. Now, the game Sunday will probably be the most watched game this NFL season. The Cowboys and the Steelers. Yes, I said it. I predict that the Steelers will win by a field goal. Because that's all we got, our field goals. So we going to win by a field goal. And Dallas ain't got nothing. We done scored over 21 points. So I'm cool with that. Our defense is on point. The chemistry on the offense is starting to come together. But our special teams are great. We have a great special teams. And I think that we'll win by a field goal with the field goals. So, Dallas, get ready.
You heard the man.
Get
ready. Before we get into Browski's scenario, my Buccaneers have a game on Thursday night against the Atlanta Falcons. To me, that scenario is kind of like it's put up or shut up. We saw what Atlanta could do, what they're capable of. But I'm talking to my Buccaneers. It's a division game. You have to show up. What team is going to show up? The team that played against the Denver Broncos at home? Or the team that showed up against the Philadelphia Eagles at home? All we need to do is carry momentum from that Eagles victory, which was a solid win, carry it over into this division game against Atlanta. So on the Thursday night, it's from everybody. Everybody's going to be watching. So all that stuff that people would talk about, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, everybody's going to get to see. All right, so Baker Mayfield, you starting to do your thing, put your numbers up. Okay, that's cool. Mike Evans, let's see what's happening. You know what I mean? Let's get that running game a little improved. Rashad White, I hope you're feeling better. You know what I mean? Bucky Irvin, you know what I mean? Again, they look very, very spry when they're carrying the ball. Like they got a lot of energy, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, on the defensive side of the ball, Vita Vea is a beast. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm looking forward to my Bucks doing some things on Thursday night against the Atlanta Falcons. What you looking at this weekend on week 5, Browski?
Well, we're looking at a bye week that, thank God, that the bye week is in for us. Which is crazy, beginning of the season, when I first saw the schedule, I was like, oh, man, week 5, bye week, that's crazy.
Yep,
I was hating it.
Yep.
Well, the tables had turned. Thank God that is week 5.
Right.
Because how much worse can it get? We have no pass rush at all. Everybody's want to point the finger at Vic Fangio, but if you know what type of defense he runs, you have to have a pass rush to make this defense work. We brought in Bryce Huff. He's given us zeros across the board. The 0 that he wears on the jersey is the 0 that's in the stat sheet with him. I wish we could send him back to the Jets and bring Hassan back, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. During this bye week, I need them to make a move to bring in someone to help with the pass rush. We have several key players down on the offensive side. The game Sunday, Cam Jurgens went down. And a lot of people were saying, it's from the heat. But I'm looking at this out because, it's not the first time you played in weather like this before. So I don't want to hear about, it's from the heat. Why is my head coach not having his players prepared? He's another problem. What do? You don't call the offense, supposedly, and you don't call the defense. So
Right.
what is your job, Nick Sirianni? I really hope that Howie is sitting back and evaluating what's happening, because this guy, he's not it,
Mm.
and we all
Is
knew
that your
this.
is that your final answer?
Oh, he's not it. He has to go.
Okay.
He has to go. And the way I look at it, he gotta go. They gotta make a move for a pass rush. And next year in the draft, we have to draft um, a right tackle,
Mm.
because Lane Johnson has been getting concussion after concussion for the past 4 seasons.
Mm.
We don't know
He's
how
like the
long this
Tua
guy.
Tagovailoa of the offensive line.
Yeah, we don't know how long this guy is going to be around, and we need to be prepared for when he sits down, because we don't have that guy at right guard that can slide in.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I miss Brandon Brooks. Shout out to Brandon Brooks, because when he was there, we didn't have that real issue like that, because we could rely on him. No AJ, no Devontae. Um, the game plan going into that game was non-existent. It's like,
Right.
that
Right.
you
Right.
came in here with two of your star receivers gone. You have Saquon. Saquon had 10 carries the whole game. You have Kenny Gainwell. You have the kid Shipley. It should be heavy running back order. You have 3 running backs on your roster. You didn't use none of them effectively. And then I got to look at Jalen Hurts, bro.
Mm.
Like, he is the worst when it comes to backside pressure, which is crazy. Majority of his fumbles come from the backside. It's like he sees the rush, he steps up, and then he thinks the rush disappeared. Like that guy went to the locker
Yeah,
room.
he's coming up
Like,
behind him. Right.
yeah,
Right. Right.
like he went to the sideline, went in the locker room, went and got a
Yeah.
snack or something from the concession stand. Like, he's not still in the field. It's like, bro, like, you see him go past you. You should feel the pressure of him
Mm.
being behind you.
Mm.
And he just standing there and it's like,
Right.
oh, I'm
Right.
gonna boom, and like ball out your hand again. It's like, I don't get what's going on with him. I don't know if it's a him and Sirianni thing, because again, we are under that impression that Sirianni hands was off the offense, but a lot of these plays look very Nick Sirianni-ish.
Mm.
I can tell when it's a Kellen Moore drive, because it's consistent. It goes together. When it's a Sirianni drive, everything's out of whack.
Mm.
It doesn't
Mm.
feel natural. It feels forced. It's just terrible, and I don't know what's going to happen. I expect this season to have its ups and downs, because the two new coordinators, and we just have a head coach that's in limbo. He's more of a cheerleader than a coach on the sideline. As soon as one score makes a play, he's running up and down the goddamn sideline,
Uh-oh,
celebrating and throwing a towel and
guys.
trying to chest up and high
Uh-oh.
five. It's like, bro, are you a coach or are you a cheerleader?
Right.
What are you? What are you doing? He has no damn clue. It's
They
I
make
didn't
it.
go
They make
on.
it. Browski use a
I
religion. Look at
need
this.
a change, and I need
Mhm.
it now.
Let's go.
I don't want to. I don't want to wait till week 6.
Right.
I don't want to wait till week 8. No, if it's terrible in week 4, it's gonna be just as bad in week 8.
Mm.
I don't want to wait that long. Make the move. We all know the move is coming. They shouldn't. They should never even bring him back. Truthfully,
Mm.
they shouldn't even bring him back for real. If you have a guy that says he can't call plays, he's not a play caller. He's not an offensive guy. He's not a defensive guy. Then he's just a guy that shouldn't be on my team. He shouldn't be coaching. When you had a Bill Belichick just standing right there, just waiting to come in. So now, if you want to make that move, you gotta fire this guy now. I will let Fangio take over for the rest of the season, and then bring in Bill for next season. Nick has to go.
Belichick or Coward?
Now I'll bring in Belichick. Because with Belichick here, that would leave all hands and let Kellen Moore run the offense when he's supposed to be doing running the offense, not I throw out a couple of series of plays and Nick is calling it into to Jalen and most likely calling the dumb plays. This last game, it should have been all RPO. All of a sudden now they don't want to run the RPO.
Right.
All of a sudden it's like, oh, for the past 3 games they run the RPO like crazy when it wasn't really working. The game that they should be running RPO because we had no receivers, they don't want to run it at all. I'm like, you bring in Jahan Dotson, what he does nothing. You got Paris Campbell. What is he doing? And then you got this big guy Johnny Wilson. Like, I won't even wrote no name like Johnny Wilson's damn to be out there. None of these guys can get any type of separation. It was just a whole trash.
Johnny Wilson playing like Johnny Mathis.
It was a whole trash game. You know, we'll throw that game into the dumpster, and we'll see what happened week 6 against Cleveland. Because if we come out looking like this, I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of the season.
That's a perfect segue into what we get ready to get into. Our favorite part of the show. But before we get into that, right, real quick, I'm gonna let Win Walker do what he do. You want to put some respect. You want to put some respect on Pete Rose's name, huh?
Yeah, not just Pete Rose's name. I want to send a rest in peace and shout out to Kimbe Mutombo.
All right. So you get that. That's Win Walker gonna set it off. That's what you're getting down on. Go ahead.
I'm getting down on it. We lost a lot of good legends this past month. Kimbe Mutombo, the swinging of the finger. Pete Rose. I'm gonna get out the sports genre. Tito Jackson. And today, John Amos. Good times. I'm just saying, a lot of legends is going to the pearly gates. So, I want to send a shout out to all of them. And of course, Oakland A's Stadium.
Yeah.
Where they'll be playing in Vegas pretty soon. As soon as they get it all prettied up and beautified and built.
Yeah, they'll be in Sacramento for the next 2 years.
Yeah, they're gonna be playing somewhere else for the next 2 years, college place or something. But this is supposed to be the most state of the art baseball field and arena ever built. So I'm waiting to see this, hoping to see this. It's supposed to be beyond SoFly Stadium. And,
beyond what's the joint in LA that the Clippers owner built?
Yeah. That's supposed to open up. Yeah, for the Clip. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You got the A's new one, and then you got the Clippers new joint that's opening up.
Right here in Oklahoma City, where I'm at, the Thunder's new arena will be across the street from their old arena. It'll open in 2028.
Okay.
So that's
all right. I'm gonna get down on this before we get up out of here. Browski got hers. Listen, this is what I'm getting down on real quick. You know what I'm getting down on, yo? You know what I'm getting down on? I'm getting down on people who always say, you might not know, or you might not realize this, or a lot of people don't understand, or a lot of people don't. How the hell do you know? That, like, it grinds my gears, man, to the fullest when somebody they preface their conversation with, well, you know, a lot of people don't know this. How do you know what people know? And how you know what they don't know? You probably just found out yourself. and well, you know, people don't know this. Why do they say that? I mean, where did that come from? Like, to me, that's all. That's. Don't get me started, Browski. You know what I mean? Like, they say it all the time. Like,
You may not know.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and people be like, well, you might not know this, and I don't know if people realize what are you talking about. Like,
Well,
let
if
me
you
shut
didn't
up. Go ahead,
know,
Patrick. Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing.
well, what I'm getting down on is I gotta focus back to the WNBA is
Okay.
the Chicago Sky
Yeah.
firing Teresa Weatherspoon after just one season, as a head coach. A lot of people will say, "Oh, well, she didn't have that much coaching experience." Well, she was an assistant coach in the NBA with the Pelicans. She actually helped Zion lose weight, get himself back in shape. Um, for them to fire her after this season that they set her up for failure is ridiculous. They actually, to
Talk
me,
about it. Talk about it.
to me, they used her because Chicago Sky has been a trash organization for the past couple of years. They have let all of their stars go for nothing. They went on this whole rebuild thing. They hired Teresa without a GM. So then they hired the coach and then they hired the GM, who the GM didn't even have any GM experience. He had player development skills. That doesn't mean that you're a good GM. So you got a rookie GM and a rookie head coach. And you used her because you thought that you could use her name to bring in high end free agents. When you didn't get the Skylar Diggins, when you didn't get the Necker coming in and things like that. So now you want to throw it at her like she was the problem when you draft an Angel Reese, you drafted a Camila Cardoza, you trade away your best player that you overpaid
In the first place.
before, yeah, in the first place, before the All-Star break. It's very hard when you fire a coach that's very player friendly, where a team has taken on their coach's identity. Especially
Let's go.
your star players, Kennedy Carter, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoza. They took in
That's right.
Teresa's personality and they stuck with her and they did everything for her, and now you let her go after one season where you blew up the team, and now you have a disruptive locker room because you fired a coach that they respected and they played hard for. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't Teresa's fault that Angel had to get wrist surgery.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't
her fault that Cardoso missed the beginning of the season
and
because she was
season.
playing for
Yes,
right. Absolutely. Let's go, Kimmy.
exactly. It wasn't her
Mhm.
fault with that. She she did what she had to do with the cards that she was dealt with, and it was all good in the beginning of the season.
Yep, it was all
Everybody was
good.
hyping in the beginning of the season, and
Mm-hmm.
then after the All-Star break, you know, you got a young team. Like I said, you trade away the leader and the scoring leader with Mayberry. So where would you want to get those points from? Where was those points coming from when you traded her away? And then you turn around and you fire her. Like, so now who you gonna bring in next season? You gonna bring in a veteran coach that your star player may or may not respect, may or may not get along with, or
And I think that they probably won't get along with.
yeah, the part because you have someone there that she respected,
Right.
that she had a personal relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Is when they fired her, Angel let out this
Yeah.
long statement
Go
of
ahead, Boston.
how hurt she was and how disrespected she felt and how wrong she felt that the organization would let her go after one season. I don't get that with these teams. How you let a head coach go after one season with a young team. Like that is mind blowing to me.
That says it. That says it all about the organizations and we had to talk about this a while back, where there's no continuity. Like I think you mentioned it when it comes to the football thing. Now you got to throw that playbook out, bring this guy in, learn his offense. So he's only going to be around a year. You know what I mean? So again, it's a continuity thing. And if the front office doesn't have trust or belief in who they hire, this is what you're going to get. It's going to be a revolving door. You're always going to be, it's going to be go from one philosophy to the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, that's crazy. You're absolutely right. And we're gonna get out of here because I know Browski got some things to do. But to let y'all know, next week, week 5, this week is gonna be play your guy. You pick a guy, any guy, or you can pick a defense. It doesn't matter. And whatever that person does will be added on to your score for the week. And salute Sonny Cruz. If somebody is creeping on a come up, I ain't gonna say no names.
Listen, I'm trying.
Somebody creeping on a come up.
But yo,
down in Sports Talk, we out of here, man. Catch us every Tuesday night, 8:15 to around this time right here. Shout out to my Cody right there, YADABEAR. All right. Shout out to Windwalker. Shout out to y'all. All right. Catch us YouTube, hit that like, subscribe button, whatever y'all do, however you slice it. All right. I'm left-handed at RMDats on Twitter, which is this right now. I'll let you boy holler at my peoples right there. YADABEAR should get you right. All right. Y'all be good. We'll talk to y'all next Tuesday night. Peace.
Enjoy these baseball games.
Yes. Enjoy the baseball games. Enjoy the basketball too.
Yes.
We out.